Hmm. Hello guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I would like to perform about the Little Match Girl by the using PowerPoint of the media. So let's begin the story. Most terrible it snowed and was nearly quite dark and evening the last evening of the year. In the school and darkness they went along the street a poor little girl, bareheaded and with the naked feet. When she left home, she had slippers on. It is true. What was the cause of that? They were very large slippers, which her mother had hitherto worn. So large were they. And the poor little thing lost them as the sheep scuttled away across the street. Because of the two carriages that drove dreadfully fast. One slipper was nowhere to be found. The other had been laid hold of both being an urchin, and of her ran with it. He thought it would do capitally for a cradle with her some day, or other should have children himself. So the little maiden walked on with her tiny naked feet that were quite dark, quite red, blue from cold. She carried a quantity of matches in an old apron, and she held one of them in her hand. Nobody had bought anything of her the whole livelong day. No one had given her a single farthing. She crept along trembling with the cold and hunger, a very picture of sorrow, the poor little thing. The flakes of snow covered her long fair hair, which fell in a beautiful curl around her neck. But of that, of course, she never once now thought. From all the windows, the candles were gleaming, and it smelled so deliciously of a rose ghost. For it was a New Year Eve, yes, of that she thought. In a corner former were two houses, of which one advanced more than the other. She seated herself down and covered together her little feet she had drawn close up to her, but she grew colder and colder, and to go home she did not venture, for she had not sold any matches and could not bring a farthing of money. From her father she would certainly get clothes, and at home it was cold too, for above her she had only the roof, through which the wind whistled. Even though the largest cracks were stopped up with straw and rags. Her little hand was almost numb with the cold. Oh, a much may afford her a word of comfort. If she only dared take a single one out of the bundle, dropped it against wall and warm her finger by it. She drew one out, wrist. Oh, it blazed, how it burned. It was a warm, green flame like a candle. As she held her hands over it, it was a wonderful night light. It seemed really to the little maiden as though she were sitting before a large iron stove with burnished brass feet and brass ornament at top. The fire burned away such pleasant influence. It warmed so delightfully the little girl, who had already stretched out her feet to warm them too. With a small flame went out, the stove vanished. She had only the remains of the burn of match in her hand. She rumbled another against the wall. It burned brightly and when the light fell on the wall, there the wall becomes transparent like a veil, so that she could see in the room. On the table was spread a snow white tablecloth. Upon it was splendid porcelain service, and the rose goose was steaming famous with the stuffing of apple and dried plums. And what was still more capital to behold was the goose hovered down from a dish really about on the floor with knife and fork, and it breathed till it came out to the poor little girl. When the match went out and nothing but a thick, cold, damp wall was left behind, she lighted another match. Now she was sitting under the most magnificent Christmas tree. It was still larger and more decorated than the one which she had seen through the glass door in the rich merchant's house. Thousand lights were burning on the green branches, and the color pictures, such as had seen in the shop windows, looked down on her. The little maiden stretched out her hands toward them where the match went out. The lights of the Christmas tree rose higher and higher. She saw them now as stars in heaven. One fell down and formed a long trail of fire. Someone's just death, said the little girl for her old grandmother, the only person who had loved her and who was now no more, had to her. Then that when of star falls, soul accents to God. She threw another match again to the wall. It was again light, and in the lustre there stood the old grandmother, so bright and radiant, so mild, and with such an expression of love. Grandmother, cried out, little one, oh, take me with you. You go away when the match burned out. You vanish like the warm stones, like the delicious rose goes and like the magnificent Christmas tree. And she rubbed the whole bundle of matches quickly against the wall, for she wanted to be quite sure of keeping her grandmother near her. And the matches gave us such a brilliant light that it was brighter than a noonday. Never formerly had the grandmother been so beautiful and so tall. She took the little maiden on her arm, and both flew brightness and the joy so high, so very high, and then above was neither cold, nor hunger, nor anxiety. They were with God. But in the corner, at the cohort of dawn, sat the girl, with rosy cheeks, with a smiling mouth, leaning against the wall, freezing to death on the last evening of the old year. Stuff and Stocks sat the chill there with her matches. Even one bundle had been burned. She wanted to warm herself, people said. No one had the slightest suspicions of what beautiful things she had seen. No one even dreamed of the splatter in which, with her grandmother, she had entered on the joys of the new year. Okay, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.